Hi, friends. This is Ashwin from Prince Heavy Concepts, and today we are recording our first episode of Prince Partner Projects. And with us today, we have Abrar from Audisee, Bangalore, one of our premium partners from Bangalore. And we are going to talk about one of the projects they have executed in Bangalore and with our products. So, welcome Abrar to the first episode of Prince Partner Projects, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ashwin. Delighted to be here. Thank you for giving us the privilege to be the first, of the podcast. So feels great to be here.
Great. So, without any further delay, we'll just get right into it. So just tell us about this project. That when the client or the architect approached you, what was the initial thought process, and then how did you get to execute the project?
The client was very, very passionate. It was through an architect who we've done multiple projects with. But unlike most other clients, he was very passionate and wanted, to do a really nice home theater. In fact, he was very clear that, the entire house, the project was managed by his wife, and his wife was the final the person who could take the final calls on things. But with the home theater was the only room that he was involved in, and he wanted it to be a project. The space was quite big compared to most home theaters that you would come across in our industry. He had the space for it, he had the passion for it, and of course he had the resources to do what was going to be worth it. So that was what it was. Couple of requirements that he had in terms of seating, in terms of the layout, were a little bit, something that we had to discuss. But I think through consistent client interaction during every phase of the project, starting with the design phase, starting with, the basic understanding of what they want, the architect's concept of what he envisaged in terms of the room's aesthetics. All these things were what we were really thinking about after we kind of got involved. Those were things that were very important for us as far as giving them that plush luxury that he was keen on, along with the great quality audio and obviously acoustics, which are very, very important for us, as you know. That whole culmination was what was on our
So
mind,
you said it was
how we were going to put
big.
it all together.
Sorry. So you mentioned the room was big. Could you share the room size?
18 by 28, 29 size room. Just close it.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It was 18 by 28 feet room. Yeah.
Okay. And what are the challenges you faced at the start, and you and your team, how did they overcome or get around those issues or challenges?
The first challenge was basically, which is kind of general. We wanted to give him the best experience, a cinematic feel in his house.
Right.
That was the challenge. The other challenge that we had was, the aesthetics of the room and how that is going to work for us in terms of acoustics. What were the kind of acoustics that we had to do? The next challenge was he wanted 10 seats in that room. And he wanted all 10 to sound really, really good. So the propagation loss amongst these rooms, amongst these seats, had to be really addressed in the design phase itself. The other challenge that we had, which I'm sure you're aware of, was convincing the client or showing the client the value great electronics and great speakers.
Right.
So now, obviously, in a room that is 24 feet, you don't have many speakers that are going to be full, especially.
Abrar, we lost you for a second between over there.
So that's why we came. I think the client was very clear. He wanted a reference theater, and working with that kind of goal that he had given us, we had to select the right product and manage the budget, manage client expectations. These were challenges that we had, going through the whole process.
That's good to hear. And what strategies you worked around, and how did you come to select our brand for this project?
The strategy, I can go into the vendor management and product timelines, deliveries, and client expectations and drawings, and get into the detail of project management and strategy. But just to give you an overall picture, we won't get into all of that. There were very, very clear expectations that were set. So we made sure that anytime we wanted inputs, we'd reach out to experts in terms of the lighting, in terms of the aesthetics that the architect was looking for. The in-house experts were always on the job. We kept communicating with the client on what he wants, how he feels about things, gave him multiple options. His deliverables were very clear. His 3D drawings, his line level drawings, his elevations, everything was discussed very, very clearly. So I think that was the strategy that we were able to implement, because everybody involved in the project was open to it. They were like, anything you have about this room, talk to us. The HVAC guys, to make sure that we're hitting the right dB levels in the room in terms of HVAC, they were helpful. The lighting consultants, whoever was there on board for the entire project, we had their inputs. So that kept communication channels open. The other strategy was, that we didn't want to under-deliver, basically. We wanted to over-deliver. So everything that we spec'd in, based on what was required, we went that 10%, 15% extra in different cases to make sure that the client is getting that luxury, that opulence at the end of it, And as far as coming to your product, we found there were only a few brands that we were able to actually spec into this project. In terms of speakers, we needed a cinema speaker. You also sell other speakers that are more musical. So we didn't want speakers that were going to be musical. We wanted something that was going to be cinematic. We wanted something that is going to deliver that SPL at the second row and maybe even beyond. We wanted something that is reputed in the market and has a certain brand value and a brand image. So hence we went with the Procella in this case. We found the speaker to be matching what we need. Also, most brands, as you know, like highly professional home cinema brands, don't have the complete specs revealed, or they don't give you all the details that you want. But in case of Procella, we are able to get all the details as far as the technical part. For us to engineer the end solution properly, the parameters that we needed were there with Procella, which very few other brands have. So that really helped us zero down on the brand as such.
Yeah. Thank you for choosing Procella Audio for this project, and I hope it turned out the way the client wanted the outcomes, and you were able to engineer everything around that and give him what he wanted. So how did this project kind of work with your organization? Were they how what was their thought process, or what was their feeling about this project when it was done?
You see, the kind of impact that this had on our organization, on Odyssey, obviously, it was multifaceted. It had, from different aspects, it affected the organization in different ways. There was learning from it. So definitely, the knowledge factor, the understanding problems, getting solutions, how we're going to work around whatever problems we had. That was something that my organization, Odyssey as a whole, generally, got some expertise in. But improvement happened in this project. As far as our branding, our spread in the market. So the architect also, this was the first time he was doing, or he was looking at a home theater of this kind of a value. Just surely in terms of in terms of the investment of that home theater. He was like, well, this is high end.
Yeah.
The other thing we got, in terms of trying to, understand how acoustics really work. And I think a key takeaway for us has been never neglect acoustics. It's kind of as important as your system. So that learning, now we are established with this client. So his referrals, his friends, his connects are reaching out to us. So in terms of marketing standpoint and market reach standpoint, obviously it has impacted our organization in a very, very positive way. So
word of mouth spreads, and definitely referrals to happen after such a good project.
Yeah.
And what was the little bit of technicals? What was the configuration of the speaker setup in terms of?
So it was a 9.4.4. So we had 9 speakers on the mid channel, including the front wide. We had 4 Atmos, and we had 4 subs, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Now the channel config was 9.4.4, but the number of speakers that we used on the bed channel were more, based on giving them better surround on the sides.
Okay, understood. That's great. That's great. And I hope the client is really enjoying his movie time. He really does enjoy it. And a part of this is that he wants, even though we've done our calibration, we wait for his feedback. What do you think about it? What do you feel? Across multiple platforms that he uses in terms of online streaming or Blu-ray discs, media server, whatever he has. So when he goes through all of them, then we find a sweet spot that kind of works for him. Because at the end of the day, whatever we do and we calibrate to our ears and as experts, what we feel is the best. The client is the guy who owns it and has invested in it. So his feedback and his input is always taken very seriously, and those changes keep happening. And in fact, up until recently, I visited his house and he wanted some changes. He wanted, some certain adjustments, and we keep doing that. So that's an ongoing process, I feel.
He's really happy. Yeah, that is.
Yeah. So looking back, what are the top learnings from this project, and what advice would you give to others who are looking at similar projects or executing similar projects?
Advice would be something that is tough for me to give, but what I learned, or what were the challenges that I faced, and probably things that I would keep in mind in the next one, the culmination of aesthetics and acoustics in terms of the eyes, or from the perspective of the designer, the architect, very, very important. Uh, so that is something that needs to be given that importance. We generally, when we're working with clients with this kind of passion and this level of involvement, if we would tell the client, the room is not going to look pretty, but it's going to sound fantastic, he would probably say, okay, no problem. But then the rest of the people, especially his family, his wife, the architect, the interior designers, they were not very, happy about changing the looks, or making something that doesn't look as intended. So aesthetics, and the blend of aesthetics with acoustics, so that we get the functionality that we need out of the room. That was a challenge. We had, as far as acoustics going and understanding the acoustics, we did couple of mock-ups, so to speak, 3D drawings, to make him understand how it is going to work out, and also to get an understanding of how it is going to work out for us. And then we went forward with that. We came to a consensus. I think another learning for me is I am going to have every client, whether he's passionate, not passionate, whatever, he's spending the money, I'm going to keep him involved through the project, so that every day what's happening and what we're looking at, what we're going to do, is very clear on that. And of course, also we understood that we need to, in different aspects, get the input and have professionals involved. So when we say we'll do it ourselves, it becomes a little bit of a, I would say, half-assed. Sorry for my French, but it's not a complete effort. When you have, we think we know everything about, what about lighting? Just put 2 lights here, put 2 lights there. What about air conditioning? Any AC? What is the size? Okay, we need 4-ton AC. But that thing is like a motor running, like a car running in the home theater. And this level, the finesse and the detail, from the lower spectrum, the lower dBs, to the bomb blast and the higher, impactful sound that the theater creates. Everything should be clear, crystal clear through. Now, the goal that I'm sure you're aware of this standard also, the RP22 that is out now. Yeah. When we were doing this theater, we were hitting in between a 2 and a 3, a level 2 and a level 3 theater.
Nice.
And that was our goal. Yeah, that was our goal. And, we were still studying the standards. We were still understanding, learning. They were, Vasif and me attended some trainings, and we had books on it. We were spending time reading through it. So we were trying to incorporate those standards as, this project is going on. And we kept telling the client that too. That we're trying to achieve this. This is what we're trying to do. This is what our goals are. And alhamdulillah, it had turned out really good. So client involvement, never underestimate your acoustics. Always give the client an option to choose. Give him the benefits of choosing better, the benefits and what are the problems with choosing lower or inferior product. Now, there is no inferior product. We just feel that certain products are suited better for different applications, and certain products are intended or made with that intention for a different application. So that was a challenge for us to be able to bring the client up to, sir, your spend is going to be this much, and this is how you have to look at it, and this is the impact that it is going to have, and that's the way we went about it. And he was quite happy. We were happy with the end result. So the learning has been these 3 main focal points for me.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Abrar, for sharing your wonderful insights and giving us details about this project and how things went, how this project was executed. It was a pleasure talking to you as always. And thank you for being our first guest on this podcast. And we'll definitely connect
No,
again
thank you. I
for other
appreciate.
projects as well, and looking forward for many other
Next that you're
projects
doing, yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
thank you
yes.
so
Yeah.
much.
Sure, Ashwin. Thank you for choosing me to be the first. And it's always a pleasure working with you. It's always a pleasure talking to you. So it's been great being part of your first podcast. Also, Ashwin, thank you so much for giving us that privilege. It's been a pleasure always talking to you. Working with you has been a pleasure as well. So I look forward to doing more, and inshallah being back here. I wish the podcast and your effort in trying to educate and spread the knowledge, spread the word that
Absolutely.
home theater is important. There is a different product, there are different people, there are different styles, there are different options. Spreading that to the general public who doesn't know, or the commoner who really doesn't understand, is great. It's great, and I wish you all the best with this. I wish you all the best with this endeavor, sir.
Thank you, Abrar. Catch you soon. Thank you so much.